I believe that when you truly know yourself, you win. Welcome to On the Daily, the podcast where we dive real deep into human design, astrology, and your subconscious mind, all with the intention of you building your idea of a big delusional life and an even more delusional business. My name is Danielle McCleary, and I am a master human design and astrology teacher, somatic coach, business mentor, public speaker, and seven-figure entrepreneur. My biggest gift is the ability to see beneath the surface, and I think too many people look outside of themselves for who they should be and what they should be doing. Around here, that is unacceptable. Around here, we break the matrix and really remember who the heck we are underneath all the programming. This podcast will give you all of the tools, mindset, and practical application you'll need to be everything you came here to be in the shiniest way possible. Are you with me? Let's freaking go. On the Daily Family, welcome back to the show. This episode is all about Pisces season. We started it less than a week ago. It started last Tuesday, and this Pisces season is going to feel very different than past Pisces seasons simply because the North Node, the collective North Node, which has been in Aries for the last year and a half, is now in Pisces. So not only are we experiencing the sun in Pisces, we've also had Neptune in Pisces, we've had Saturn in Pisces, we also have the North Node in Pisces. So there's a lot of collective Piscean energy. And so in this episode, I'm going to tell you how it's probably affecting you and also just things to think about based on where Pisces is in your chart. So let's dive in. I don't know if you heard, but I am hosting a retreat in Costa Rica. It's a Break the Matrix retreat, and it is in Costa Rica this October, and we still have some spots available. Not many, but there are a few. And so not only will you get 7 nights, it's a full week in Costa Rica with us at this gorgeous home in Tamarindo. It's like over on top of the mountain. You can literally go look at my Instagram, and I have footage of this home all over the place. We've rented a second house, which is the house adjacent on the property. And you also get the course, Break the Matrix, all included in one bundle. And for a limited time, you also get a free natal chart human design reading with the purchase of the bundle. So you're going to save, I think you save like up to $6,000 when you bundle it all together. But these spots are going to go quickly. And I know that people are kind of coming out of their winter fog and they're thinking like, how do I want to grow myself this year? How do I want to expand myself? And I think that yes, it always, of course, always getting business support is crucial. Getting spiritual support and also getting the tools to regulate your nervous system and learning things like human design and astrology for the purpose of regulating your nervous system are so powerful. And that's what my course Break the Matrix does. And then you also then get to culminate it in a 7-night retreat in Costa Rica with us in October. So if you want to learn more, you can go to daniellemccleary.com/BTM retreat. That's BTM as in Break the Matrix retreat. Or you can just go to my website, or you can just come to Instagram, Danielle_on-the-daily, slide into my DMs, and I can send you the link from there as well. But at the very least, go check it out, because when you go to the website, you'll see like all the details of like where we'll be staying, what we'll be doing, what the 7 days consists of, and then a little bit of an intro about the course as well that you'll get access to, which is a hybrid self-paced course with live calls. And a community to connect with other people who are in the same season and going through the same things you are. So I hope to see you in Costa Rica with us, and let's get into this episode. Pisces season is upon us, and I think this Pisces season feels so different to so many people because we have a lot of Pisces energy going on in general. Not only is the sun now in Pisces, we have Neptune, which is the planet of dreams and delusions. It's the planet that rules Pisces, also in Pisces. We also have Saturn, which is like dad. I always say like the moon is mother, Jupiter is like zaddy or Santa Claus, and Saturn is dad, here to teach us lessons. So for the last, I don't even know how long exactly, the last few months, Saturn and Neptune have both been in Pisces. They're about to move to Aries. And we right now also have the North Node in Pisces. So we did an episode about this a few episodes back. If you didn't hear it, please go back and listen to it, because it was all about the collective shift that happens when the North Node shifts, when the South Node shifts. And we went from a collective I lead energy when the North Node was in Aries to now the collective is more in an I trust energy now that it's in Pisces. So what does this mean? It means that a lot of people are starting to feel a lot more intuitive and a lot less, I think a lot of people have thought that what they're feeling is like malaise or lethargy or like not wanting to do anything or feeling like they want to pivot or change directions. And what it really is just this call to go back to intuitive, creative, playful work. That is guided by a knowing, that is guided by your intuition versus a strategy. And so this is the big shift that happened at the beginning of January, where the nodes shifted. They were in Aries and the South Node was in Libra, which was very much a aggression, like the aggressive, bold, unapologetic side of Aries, and the charming, diplomatic, fair, just side of Libra. And the nodes have now shifted to a North Node in Pisces, which is intuition, dreams, delusion, creativity, play, and also spirituality and subconscious mind. And then the South Node is now in Virgo, which is structure, discipline, grounded in what is real. So it's really this axis of imagination versus reality, creativity versus strategy. And I think that what this does is it forces people to kind of go, do I want to be doing what I do in the way that I've been doing it? Or am I ready for something a little bit more creative? Am I ready for something a little bit more playful? I know this has very much been affecting me on a very personal level, because my karmic North Node is in Pisces. So not only is the collective North Node in Pisces, it's my natal North Node. So I'm having a nodal return right now. And now that the sun has shifted into Pisces, I feel like I am ready to birth a whole new chapter of my life, of my business, of what I offer, of who I offer it to. And I'm really excited about it. And it's feeling very creative and it's feeling very playful. And it's also calling me back to art and calling me back to my roots, which are dance, music, performance, creativity, playfulness. I think because my karmic South Node is in Virgo, I can get very much trapped in the energy of like, it has to make sense. It has to be rooted in reality. I have to know the how. And what I'm really learning right now is that I don't really need to know the how, and that just this intuitive pull I have to support artists in becoming more visible. And I don't just mean like musicians and actors and writers and poets. I mean creatives. I mean designers, writers, poets, yes, musicians, yes, dancers, yes, actors, yes, playwrights, yes, spiritual healers. There's so much art in all of that. And I really see so many like very, very talented artists and very, very talented creatives that just they're not allowing themselves to be seen because, because there's visibility wounds there, and there's a fear of being seen. And there's this belief that if somebody criticizes your art, that that means it's not good enough. And what I really want to help artists do is bring their art into the world. And I think having a background in dance, I was a professional dancer. I have a master's in acting. I've acted professionally. I have many degrees and many certifications in the arts in general. And I've been performing my whole life. My rhythm and music is such a part of who I am. And for so long, I've been like treating it like a hobby instead of like an extension of who I am. And so this Pisces season is really putting me back into creativity and play in a really cool way. Like I've been experimenting with like different like different types of like creative visuals in my reels, and using more creative imagery and all sorts of things. So that being said, you may be feeling uh a sense of, maybe it's a feeling of like wanting to burn everything to the ground. And I want you to know that you don't have to, because Pisces season is going to bring you into your deep emotional shifts for sure. It's also going to spark intuitive awakenings within you. So if you've been kind of leading with this like pedal to the metal, like balls to the wall, fire levitating across the field energy for the last year, you probably are feeling a little bit of a call to return to intuition and return to your own knowing and your own childlike sense of play, which is normal. And it's the way the collective is shifting, right? The new paradigm in this elevated collective consciousness we're all moving toward doesn't happen by force. It happens when we all get to know ourselves really well. When you know yourself, you win, However, depending on where Pisces is in your chart or the placements you have in Pisces, you may experience this. This transit while the sun is in Pisces. You may experience it a little bit differently, and I think everybody's experiencing it. Where in the past, when there weren't a lot of placements in Pisces, it was easy. Like if you didn't have any placements in Pisces, if you didn't have any energy in that house, it probably wasn't so obvious that it's affecting you. But I think everyone is feeling this shift because we have the sun, the North Node, Neptune, and Saturn all in Pisces right now. It's a call to intuition. So I'm going to go through all of the different houses and how Pisces season may be, affecting you differently, and kind of like some tips that I have. And I don't want to miss any. So I definitely wrote them all down. I wrote all the houses down so I can keep myself on track, because I've done that before where I forget one and then everyone's like, wait, you forgot me. And I'm not going to forget you today. So here we go. Okay. So if Pisces is in the first house, you're a Pisces rising. For my Pisces risings, this is a season of identity shifts for you. You're going to feel this really, really deeply. I think if the sun is in Pisces, if you have big placements, the top 6, sun, moon, rising, Venus, Venus, Mercury, Mars. If you have any of those planets in Pisces, you're going to feel this shift pretty significantly, but it's calling you to a spiritual embodiment. It's calling you to a personal transformation. Pisces season is asking you to release an old version of yourself, to step into a more artistic and soulful path. So I think anyone who's a Pisces rising, I know a few Pisces risings. I have a few clients that are Pisces risings. A lot of artists and musicians are have Pisces in their chart. It's because you're seen as this mystic. You're seen as dreamy. You're seen as already very emotionally in tune. And I think while the North Node was in Aries, you were probably outside of that a little bit, and you were trying to like prove yourself, and you were trying to like strategically get your shit in line. And that's fine. And we need that, right? There's a duality to everything. You can't just be in this like dreamy feminine state, just like you can't be in a hyper masculine state of like action, strategy, discipline all the time. You need both. But for you as a Pisces rising, Pisces first house, this is personal, right? Anything in our first house is personal. So I would be focusing this month on personal reinvention. What have you've been scrolling Instagram, or you've been scrolling TikTok, and you've been looking at other brands. Maybe you've been looking at Pinterest, and you've been like daydreaming about how you could shift your brand, shift your identity, shift your aesthetic. And maybe you're like, but I can't do that because I have to make money. I'm telling you, reinvent yourself this month. Follow your intuition, reinvent yourself, and also start to embody your spiritual truth, because as a Pisces rising, you are very spiritually and psychically in tuned. You're an empath for sure. And if you're not tapping into that, it's going to start to feel like you're going to start to disassociate. And this is not the time when a Pisces rising should be disassociating. This is a time when you should be like tapping in. So my Pisces risings, Pisces first house, you really need to reinvent yourself. Like this is your permission slip. This is the sign you've been looking for to go and do the rebrand. Do the rebrand, do the reinvention, change the offer, burn that leg of your business down, whatever it is, do it because it's time and there's no better time than Pisces season to do this. Now, obviously, depending on like it's not just what house Pisces rules for you, it is also the placements you have there. So I'm not going to go into the specific placements, but if you do have specific placements in Pisces, that's going to add another layer to the significance and the importance of this season for you. Okay, Pisces in the second house is our Aquarius risings. So if you're an Aquarius rising, this is your second house of money. So there could be a shift in money mindset. There could be a shift in financial flow or your finances in general. This could be a shift in self-worth. Like you could be letting go of scarcity thinking. Maybe you've been kind of trapped in feeling like the money, there's not enough month at the end of the money, or, feeling like whatever you do, you just can't get ahead. Whatever it is, I think that there's going to be a shift for you in Pisces season, because when you let go of the scarcity thinking and you really start to trust, you need to start to trust that money can come through a lot of different avenues, and it's not always the most obvious avenue that it's going to come through if you have Pisces in the second house. I think Pisces in the second house it always means that your money can really come through spiritual, artistic, or even intuitive pursuits. So, one of my best friends is an Aquarius rising, and he's always like, he'll have these moments where he's like, I'm going to go do this. And then it like leads to another way of making money for him. And it's like that I'm going to go do this is not like in line with necessarily a business that like his business, his job, his career. It's more intuitive. And it's like, ooh, I'm a little bit dreamy in this sense. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to try this and I'm going to see what happens. And then there's always like a money avenue for him in that way. So I think that Pisces season in the second house, it could mean financial ups or downs depending on the divine timing of these pursuits that you're going to. But this is like your month to focus on your money, your mindset, your self-worth, aligning with the abundance that you want rather than the control that you have. So it's really letting go of the control you have over certain things, like, oh, well, I need to hold on to this tight because this is currently working. Yeah, but if it's not lighting you up and it's not bringing you joy, then it's not working. So it's a really good time to let go of any scarcity, any fears you have around money, any fears you have around abundance and growth mindset, and truly tap into your intuitive pursuits and what feels good for you to chase and attract. I think that's going to be a really big deal for Pisces in the second house. Okay, Pisces in the third, these are my Capricorn risings. So if you're a Capricorn rising, third house is all about communication. So it's the house of communication. It's the house of writing, teaching, communication with our mind, communication with our mouths, communication. So there's going to be heightened intuition in these areas because Pisces is all about intuition. So when the sun is in, anytime the sun moves, right, every time the sun moves to a different sign, it illuminates a different part of our life. And so if you're a Capricorn rising, this month is going to be all about your intuition when it comes to the way you communicate, the way you write, the way you teach, the way you speak. You're probably going to have a lot of really strong downloads, I would assume. A lot of really strong downloads, a lot of really big insights. And I think you need to be journaling this month. If you don't already, I think you need to be networking. You need to be having conversations. You need to be out. You need to be out in the world. You need to be putting your voice out there on social media. You need to be sharing your thoughts, sharing your insights. And maybe it's like, maybe your dreams are super vivid. I think anybody that has Pisces in the third, your dreams are probably pretty vivid anyway, but I think they're going to intensify during Pisces season. So what I would do is keep like a notebook next to your bed. And if you have a crazy lucid dream where it's like one of those dreams where it's like, you're dreaming, but you're also very much in it. So it's almost like you're probably timeline jumping, or you're like in a different reality. but you like know that it's not your lived reality. And so it's very lucid. When you start to have, because I imagine you will start to have dreams like that if you have Pisces in the third, keep a journal next to your bed, wake up, write it down. If you sleep with your phone next to your bed, I don't recommend that, but some people do. I started using, I've never kept my phone in my room, but I always had my phone like in the other room, and then the alarm would go off and I'd have to like get my ass out of bed and like go turn off my alarm. I actually bought a Lofty alarm clock. I'm not sponsored by them, although I probably should be. But it's a really great alarm clock, and you program it in your app, to what time you want it to go off, but it doesn't go off like a regular alarm clock. It like gives you like chimes and sound bowls and the sounds of birds. It's so nice. Waking up is such an enjoyable experience now. And then I don't need to keep my phone next to my bed. But anyway, I digress. Somehow you need to be able to wake up from your dreams and write it down. I also really love using ChatGPT to decipher my dreams from a spiritual perspective. If you've never done that, I highly recommend it. You basically write it all down and then put that into ChatGPT and be like, can you like articulate this, or can you decipher this dream spiritually? And it spits out some pretty cool stuff, especially if your ChatGPT knows you. If you don't really use ChatGPT, and it doesn't know you that well, it may not work as well, but the more it knows you, the better it's going to be able to determine and decipher your dreams for you. But Pisces in the third, your dreams are going to be more intense for sure this month. And so I think what you need to be focused on is expressing your spiritual truths through words, through writing, through teaching. So whether that be online, in a book, maybe you write a book this month. I don't know. Somehow get your insights and your downloads out into the world, because that's really what you're being asked to do, and let it be intuitive. Don't think of like, oh, well, what should I put out that'll make me money? No. What can I put out that's going to teach people and going to impact people's lives? Go from that perspective, because that's the energy of Pisces in the third. Okay. My Sagittarius risings, this means that Pisces is in your fourth house. And by the way, I use whole house astrology. I also use tropical modern astrology. So I don't do sidereal Vedic astrology. I like it. I think it has a purpose, from a holistic, zoomed out perspective. But I find that tropical astrology, whole sign astrology, really works better for the person and the human experience. So anyway, in whole sign astrology, in your Sagittarius rising, you have Pisces in the fourth. This is a season of a lot of emotional healing, because the fourth house is all about your ancestral roots, your emotional inner world, your childhood. So there's going to be some deep emotionally healing this month. There's going to be some ancestral work for you this month. And some home shifts maybe. And maybe this is like not moving home. Like maybe you're not going to be moving, but maybe you want to redecorate. Maybe you want to rearrange your house. You want to repaint your walls. Something like that I can see happening. But there also could be some changes in home. There could be some changes in family dynamics this month, or in generational patterns. You may just be like anchored into healing something on a deeper level, which is really, really beautiful. That's Aquarius season for me. Aquarius season is always like a very deeply introspective area, because I have Aquarius in the fourth. February for me is always a very deeply introspective time where I'm healing a lot of generational stuff, and I'm cleaning a lot, I'm rearranging, I'm decorating, I'm reorganizing my closet. I'm taking care of my home, my roots, and my emotional inner world. So that's what you need to be focused on in March if you are a Sagittarius rising and you have Pisces in the fourth. Okay, Pisces in the fifth. These are my people. We're Scorpio risings. This is a season of creative expansion. I already shared with you what I'm doing. That is probably what most Scorpio risings are going through right now. We are entering a season of play. We are entering a season of self-expression. We are entering a season of romance. And this isn't just like romance with another person. It probably is romance with another person, but it's also like romancing our life. Like I'm like loving my morning routine. I get up in the morning and I do this like cool, and there's this workout I do called The Class, and it's like breath work meets dance meets, strength meets yoga meets breath work, and it's just like a real creative, playful exercise. I've been doing that first thing in the morning, or I get up and I listen to a podcast and I work on my own creativity while doing my, like, walking on my walking pad or taking my dog for a walk. And then I eat like a really nourishing breakfast. I'm like romancing my entire morning. And this, I started feeling this way when the North Node moved into Pisces, because that is my North Node as well. But it's so strong right now. Like I posted something on social media recently about how I am entering a new chapter, and I'm really getting back to like play and art in my work. So the collective is being called to create from intuition and emotional depth. That is what we are being called to on an even deeper level, because we have Pisces in the 5th house of creativity and expansion and play. So divine inspiration, I think, is going to flow really easily for us. Everything's going to feel very soul aligned. There's going to be a lot of artistic projects. And if you do have any artistic projects in the works, like, they're probably going to thrive in March in Pisces season. So us Scorpio risings, we really need to be focused on our playfulness. We need to be focused on romancing our life. We need to be focused on art. We need to be focused on trusting our creative process, because next month, the sun moves into our 6th house of daily routine and like our health, and our discipline. So all of this like creative pursuits and these things that we're like birthing, because like the 5th house is also about birth, right? Not just birthing children, but birthing ideas, creativity. So all this stuff we're birthing right now is going to get structure and form when the sun moves into Aries, into our 6th house next month. So use this time. It's like we went through like our little dark month of the soul while the sun was in Aquarius. Now we're like birthing new ideas. We're coming out of our cocoon. We're being very playful. And then we're going to move into like, it's go time, baby. So, Scorpio risings, create. Let that double water energy really like fuel you. Okay, so if you have Pisces in the 6th house, this is Libra rising. So my Libra risings, this can be a shift in your daily routines. There might be a shift in your health. There might be some work-life balance, harmony, attention you need to pay. So this could mean that you may actually, because Pisces is all about like introspection and the stuff you can't see, our hidden world. So you may be called to incorporate more rest. I think some Libra risings like are really sick right now. And I think that makes sense, because you're probably being asked to incorporate more rest. The universe is literally like, no, you need to rest. You need to calm yourself. Spirituality or intuitive practices are maybe brought into daily life. So, maybe you're going to develop your own spiritual practice this month. That's what Pisces is kind of doing to your 6th house. If you're overworking, this could be a time of burnout. So if you're a Libra rising and you're feeling very worked to the max, I want you to ask yourself where you're not surrendering, because it's time for surrender for sure. And so I think if you have Pisces in the 6th or you're a Libra rising, it's time for healing. Focus on your health. Focus on your holistic health. So not just your body's health, but actually like a zoomed out perspective of your life and the health of your life. Finding flow instead of force, I think, is going to be really big for you in your productivity. So there's always, I think, anything in the 6th house, there's always this like, am I going to force it or am I not going to force it? Am I going to go for it or am I not going to go for it? And it's really important for you to really find that harmony between your masculine and your feminine energy, and really start to understand that like your success is going to come through your flow, not your force this month. So, okay. If you have Pisces in the 7th house, you're a Virgo rising. So my Virgo risings, this is all about your relationships and your collaborations, marriage, partnerships. This is like your actual marriage or like the marriage you have with other, with like business partners or collaborators. It's a season of romance and it's romantic and relational shifts. So, you could be you could be like dissolving old relationship dynamics. And maybe this is a relationship between your actual partner, your husband, your wife, your partner, whatever. this could be something dissolving. So something that's not working is falling off and you're letting a part of your relationship die. This could also be you're incorporating new spiritually aligned connections. I think that anybody who has Pisces in the seventh, your relationships and your collaborations and your partners and the people that you're in relationship with kind of come out of very intuitive, dreamy places anyway, but it's going to be heightened for sure this month. There could be some soulmate energy, whether that be in personal relationship or professional relationship. There could be some karmic partnerships coming back around. So, something that like a pattern, there could be some patterns happening. There'll be a lot of spiritual lessons this month through love. So if you are married or in relationship with someone, there could be some spiritual messages coming through for the relationship, which will feel probably pretty beautiful. But your focus this month is on your relationships. It's on soul-aligned partnerships. So not just the partnerships that make sense on paper, but like if there's someone you've been wanting to work with professionally, or maybe somebody you've been wanting to collaborate with, maybe you have a podcast and there's like a guest you really want to interview, or you want to be a guest on someone's podcast, or you want to work with someone in some way, this is a really good time to reach out. This is a really good time to be open to it, because Pisces is all about our soul and what we want on a spiritual level. And that's not always going to make sense on paper, but it will always get us closer to a higher timeline. And then also surrendering to love's flow. You may have felt very like for your relationship, maybe it felt very forced or very like robotic or going through the motions. And I think Pisces season is really going to make you tap back into like the flow of your love, the surrender of what it means to be in partnership, what it means to be in love. Okay, Pisces in the 8th. These are my Leo risings. This is my wife. This is a really deeply transformative time for you. 8th house is all about death and rebirth and the occult and your shared resources and your intimacy. So there could be a lot of themes for my Leo risings this month around death, around rebirth, your sexuality, money, specifically other people's money, taxes, inheritance, etc. And then there could be a lot of really powerful energy clearings this month, for sure. It's a really powerful time, I think. Leo risings, March is going to be a really powerful time for some subconscious beliefs, finally rewiring stuff you've been working on for a long time, finally feeling like you have clarity around the rewiring process of it. Past wounds or patterns or loops that you've been caught in, I think are finally going to end. I think it's going to finally feel like a clearing. This could be a month of shadow work for you. So you could feel some patterns coming back up and being asked to like do the last bit of work to kind of release them. I think it's going to be a really good time for that. But in March, my Leo risings, you need to focus on your own transformation. You need to focus on money, specifically your debt, your investments, your inheritances, other people's money. And then also focus on your personal intimacy, but also intimacy with others. And then, let this be a time of spiritual rebirth for you. That's what the 8th house is for. Everyone hates on the 8th house, but this is where when the sun moves through your 8th house, you get an opportunity to like let things die and be reborn, which is a really beautiful time. Because after this, my Leo rising, the sun is going to move into your 9th, 10th, 11th houses, which is like your career, your public image, long distance travel, like the cultures you meet on the other side of the world, the communities that you're a part of, your networks. So it's really good that you release anything that is not serving you and it comes to your subconscious loops and patterns so that you can move into a higher timeline in the next coming months. I think a lot of Leo risings, they really take their winter and then come like the end of March, April, May, June, July. It's go time for them. Okay, Pisces in the 9th house. These would be my Cancer risings. This is a season of spiritual expansion for you. So maybe you're going to be traveling a lot in March. Maybe there's going to be you're going to be seeking higher learning, higher education, higher wisdom, right? The ninth house is traditionally ruled by Jupiter and Sagittarius. So it's all about, the ninth house is all about philosophy. It's all about expanding our mind, long distance travel, seeing more of the world. So I think a lot of Cancer risings are going to feel a call. Maybe you are going to be called to study things like astrology or human design, or even like more esoteric practices, tarot, um, or just like really diving into philosophy more, like philosophizing on the world and the deeper meaning of things. I think that if you have Cancer rising, Pisces season is a perfect time for surrendering to the unknown and really trusting the divine timing of everything. Because that's so much about philosophy. It's all about like trusting the flow, trusting divine timing, and letting the river carry you instead of you trying to swim up river, like kind of just letting things flow. Because I think when you can do that, there's going to be a lot of travel opportunities. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to take your wisdom higher, to take your mind higher, to a more spiritual place. So if you have Pisces in the ninth, if you're a Cancer rising, spiritual studies this month are going to be big for you. Travel is going to be big for you. Expanding beyond the material world. The material world is going to feel very money, and the 3D is going to feel very boring to you this month. So allow yourself to kind of like step outside of that construct and those confines a little bit and move beyond them to a higher timeline. Okay, Pisces in the 10th. This is Gemini rising. This could be passing over your midheaven. This is gonna be career shifts. So letting go of rigid structures, work things in your career that are no longer serving you. I think a lot of Pisces in the 10th house, I think a lot of Gemini risings are going to be aligning with more intuitive, creative work this month. Feeling called to align your career with your soul's purpose. So Gemini risings, if you've been really like focused on like doing what you're told and like making it make sense and, having things look good on paper, you're probably really tired of that. You're probably very burnt out on that. And this is a great month to let that go and really start to focus your career on what your soul actually came here to do. Because when you can do that, I think there's going to be greater public recognition. But I think that's only when you're rooted in your own authenticity. If you're not rooted in what is true for your soul, it's not going to feel that way. But if you can really release any rigidity or any boxes around yourself when it comes to your career and your public image, then you will be rooted in your authenticity, which will only get you more public recognition. So Gemini risings, Pisces in the 10th, you want to be focused on your career this month. You want to be focused on your reputation. You want to be focused on your spiritual leadership for sure. And then what is the most aligned way you can feel successful, but like from your soul, not just like, oh, checking all the boxes, but like, what does your soul want? And how can you tap into your success in that way? Okay, we're almost done. Pisces in the 11th house. This is Taurus rising. So my Taurus risings, 11th house is all about social and community. So like your social networks and your community, your hyper network. So I think a lot of you are going to be leaving some toxic friendships this month. I think a lot of you are going to be passing on anything that's not feeling like an authentic friendship, like a friendship that adds life to you. You're going to probably want to pull away from those friendships, which I think is a really good thing. I think you're going to feel more drawn to spiritual, artistic, or like humanitarian groups this month. You may be wanting to spend more time with your creative friends, your artistic friends, instead of your like rigid friends that maybe you've been spending time with. Again, you want to be aligning, because the 11th house is all about your communities and your networks. You want to be networking this month, but with people who align with your soul's mission, with what you came here to do in your soul. Okay. networking is going to feel better when you're seeking out those types of friendships instead of what looks good on paper or because your boss told you to go network, but actually networking from a place of like intuition and this makes my soul feel good to interact with these people. So key focuses this month, if you are a Taurus rising, friendships, your social impact, collaborating with really aligned communities, people that feel really good for you. Then finally, if you have Pisces in the 12th house, you're an Aries rising. Pisces is actually at home in the 12th house, so it traditionally is ruled by Neptune and Pisces. So if you're an Aries rising, this is your mystical season. This is your introspective season. This is your hidden life. So this is where your psychic abilities are really going to be like on high alert. You're going to be having a lot of psychic dreams, a lot of heightened intuition, a call to retreat more. I think you're not going to be such an outdoor cat this month. You're going to be a lot more of an indoor cat. There's going to be some maybe old patterns, old subconscious loops, karmic patterns that maybe you shoved away or didn't quite heal all the way. They may be coming to the surface for you to work on. So if you are Pisces in the 12th house, if you're an Aries rising this month, you need to be focusing on your own spiritual awakening. You need to be like allowing yourself to like hear things you don't necessarily agree with and then understanding why they trigger you so that you can alchemize it into a higher frequency for yourself. You need to be spending some time alone. It's a month of solitude for you for sure, a month of healing for you for sure, and then also a month of trust, like trusting your divine timing. Because I don't think that people with Pisces in the 12th always feel super grounded and comfy trusting their divine timing because we live in a world that tells you not to do that, but that's like your nature. That's your natural space. So really don't worry about other people this month. I think really allow yourself to just disconnect from other people and really go within and figure out what within you needs to heal so that you can reemerge in Aries season at this, the start of spring, essentially. Pisces it's almost, it's like the end of winter. It's the last season. It's the last of the zodiac. Pisces is the end of the zodiac. So it's the end of winter because the next season is Aries season, and that's our spring. That's when things start to bloom again and grow and take off. So really use this time. I think no matter where Pisces sits in your chart, really use this time for surrender and flow and trust. Pisces season is not about control. It's about intuition. It's about, let go and let God, essentially. So have a creative awakening this month. Maybe you want to write more, you want to sing more, you want to dance more, you want to express yourself in a creative way. Do it. A lot of emotional and spiritual healings and awakenings happening this month, I think, collective wide. And a lot of dreams because Pisces season is the end of the zodiac. So the veil between us and the spiritual world is the thinnest during Pisces season. So this is a great time for dreams. This is a great time for psychic work. This is a great time for subconscious rewiring. This is a really good time to kind of shed anything that's not serving you on a spiritual level so you can kind of take off in a new direction. And then please journal about it, share about it, be open to talking about it. And I hope that this was valuable and informative for you. I love Pisces season, but it's like I said, like I'm feeling this Pisces season so much stronger than I've felt other Pisces seasons in the past because it's my node return. But I think we all are feeling it bigger than we have in the past because the North Node is in Pisces. So this is a collective calling to spiritual awakening. That's why I said in a few episodes ago, I don't know, 2 or 3 episodes ago, we had a conversation about the collective spiritual awakening that's happening. Pisces in the North Node in Pisces is going to do that. That's this new wave of spiritual awakenings that are going to happen. So I think Pisces season within that North Node transit can really be a catalyst for a lot of spiritual awakening, a lot of energetic healing, a lot of subconscious rewiring, and a lot of psychic gifts to turn on. Okay. Let me know if you like this episode. And if you ever do like this episode, one of the ways that I think podcasts get out to more people, it's just like an algorithm anywhere else. People need to engage, and the way that you can engage is going on to like Apple Podcasts and leaving a 5-star review, writing a review, letting us know what you think of the show. I love feedback. Obviously I love, but I also love feedback. And if there's, anything that you want to share about this show with us, we'd be so happy to hear it. But we are in the process of taking this show to the next level. And if you do love this show and you are listening to it and you've never left us a review, I'm going to ask you for a little favor that you do that for us. And I will be back next week with another episode. Love ya.